Sharon's terrible actions may have been the focal point of the Y&R storyline, but now she finds herself in a deadly predicament. It seems like death ends when Heather shows up at Daniel's penthouse, where Sharon has just committed an obsessive act. She can't believe it's going to turn out this way. Panic quickly sets in as Sharon realizes she's accidentally killed Daniel, someone she never intended to harm. But Cameron Kirsten, the villain who's been controlling Sharon from the shadows, had warned her, Sharon would never get away with this if she was found out. And this time, he was right. Sharon has no reasonable excuse for breaking into Daniel's apartment. She knows that she can't come up with an innocent or reasonable explanation to justify her actions. What happened is too terrible to gloss over. Heather, having witnessed the scene, stood there, panic rising within her as she realized the severity of the situation. Sharon, already mentally disturbed by Cameron's influence, began to lose control, not knowing what to do to get out of the mess she had created. Cameron, who had taken advantage of Sharon's mental weakness, began to appear in her mind again, reminding her that if she did not act quickly, Heather would call the police. He had, in one way or another, convinced Sharon that silence was necessary. To protect herself, Sharon had to act before Heather could call for help. The internal struggle became more intense than ever, as Sharon teetered on the edge of fear and despair. With few options, Sharon could decide to attack Heather to keep her quiet. Sharon's mental turmoil led her to choose violence as the only solution. In a moment of loss, Sharon might hit Heather hard on the head with something in the apartment, or perhaps the two of them might struggle violently, resulting in Heather accidentally running into something hard. Either way, it's inevitable that Heather will end up unconscious on the floor after a terrifying altercation with Sharon. At this point, Sharon, filled with fear and anxiety, will flee the apartment, leaving behind a chaotic scene. Her heart is pounding, not knowing what she's done. Sharon can no longer think clearly, and tears begin to well up in her eyes as she wonders how she can get out of this situation. She's fallen too deep into the trap Cameron set for her, and there's no clear way out now. In that moment of despair, Sharon might turn to the place she feels most connected to her mistakes and losses, Cassie's grave. There, Sharon breaks down, sobbing in front of her dead daughter's grave. Cassie, the girl Sharon loved so much, was taken away by fate, and now Sharon feels like she is repeating those losses to the people she loves. Guilt overwhelms Sharon, dragging her down into an endless pit of pain and torment. She knows she needs help, someone to save her from the mental trap Cameron has set for her. Meanwhile, Daniel and Lucy are able to return home and witness a horrifying scene. Heather, the person they love, is lying unconscious on the floor after a disastrous encounter with Sharon. They cannot believe their eyes when they see her in this state and quickly take action. Lucy, in a panic, is able to call 911 so that paramedics can take Heather to the emergency room as soon as possible. Everything is happening too fast and out of control, leaving Daniel and Lucy in a state of confusion and fear. Will Heather survive this ordeal? And if she wakes up, will she remember what happened during the fight with Sharon? She might recall the horrific encounter and denounce Sharon for what she did. But that would only make things worse for Sharon, who is facing the risk of losing everything. Whatever happens next, one thing is clear: Sharon needs mental help now more than ever. Cameron, who put Sharon in this situation, has built the perfect trap to trap her. Sharon is caught between the past and the present, between guilt and compassion. She knows that if she doesn't escape this trap, she will continue to sink deeper into darkness. With chaos brewing, Sharon is trying to come to terms with the disaster she has caused. Daniel's family may face some scary and terrifying moments, but Sharon's battle with Cameron and with herself is not over. New drama continues to unfold, and Sharon's future is becoming increasingly uncertain. Subscribe to Y&R is where you'll find exciting Y&R Restless spoilers, predictions, news, and updates, so make us your go-to source.